Welcome to Tech Core News. Today is April 30th, 2020. Let's jump into things with Apple Inc. They have reached an $18 million settlement to end a class action lawsuit alleging it pushed through an update that disabled FaceTime on older model iPhones as a way to save on the costs of running the program. Named plaintiffs Christina Grace and Ken Potter asked the Northern District of Columbia on Monday to grant preliminary approval to the deal, which they say will get cash payments to more than 90% of class members. Apple has the email addresses of more than 90% of the settlement class members and physical addresses for others, and will be able to send payments electronically. Moving on to other legal news. Thanks to a joint petition from Politico, The Washington Post, The Associated Press, CNN, and The New York Times, over 30 FBI search warrants into Roger Stone's communications were unsealed on Tuesday. Hundreds of pages of documents reveal an opus of a would-be mastermind foiled by perjury, media tours, Twitter direct messages, an InfoWars alliance, an imaginary friend, a radio jockey, a few hundred fake Facebook accounts, and a Hotmail account, to name a few pitfalls. We also learned that Steve Bannon wouldn't return his emails, and a little bit about a Craigslist persona, Swashbuckler, though they, unfortunately, provide few details on the latter. Speaking of Craigslist, the next computer you buy using the classified section might have Linux pre-installed out of the box, especially if it's a Lenovo. They are partnering with the Fedora project to give you your dream machine in the form of ThinkPad laptops that make it easy even for a newcomer to get started with Fedora. This is supposed to be a pilot program dubbed Linux Community Series Fedora Edition, which will include the ThinkPad P1 Gen 2, ThinkPad X1 Gen 8, ThinkPad P53, and possibility that the company will expand the selection in near future if it sees enough demand. These models will come with the newly released Fedora 32 workstation and presumably will be certified to play nice with it while only using first-party repositories. It seems that Linux is slowly but surely catching up to the competition. Similarly, in our next headline pick, the video meeting platform Zoom is currently in the lead, but Google isn't far behind. Today they announced that their Meet video conferencing service, known previously as Hangouts Meet, is now free for anybody who wants to use it. Previously geared towards enterprise and education use, Google Meet can now be used by anyone with a Google account and supports meetings of any amount of time, at least until October, when they might be limited to 60 minutes, for up to 100 people. It's a big move that's clearly designed to counter Zoom's popularity. Our final headline takes things overseas to Abu Dhabi. Abu Dhabi Power Corporation says it has secured the world's lowest tariff for a solar power plant as it moves ahead with a planned 2-gigawatt solar photovoltaic project in the Al Dhafra region of the Emirate. The utility says it has received a bid of just $1.35 per kilowatt hour for the project. Once operational, the Al Dhafra plant will produce enough power for approximately 160,000 households that should reduce the Emirates' carbon dioxide emissions by more than 1.6 million metric tons a year, equivalent to removing around 470,000 cars from the road. That sums up our news headlines for today. Thank you for listening, and we hope you'll join us next time.